Hi, welcome to Lorena's Kitchen, Cooking in the Urban Studio. So tonight I am going to show you a very nice, wholesome meal inspired by my Mama Essa's husband because I have his original okra recipe for some lady fingers, which is okra. So tonight we're using 1 pound of okra. We're going to be using 2 large tomatoes and 1 smaller tomato, 2 large white onions, 3 long green peppers, like this. We're going to be doing 4 scallions or green onions, whichever you call them, 1 cup of lentils, 1 cup quinoa. We're going to be using some pink Himalayan salt, some red pepper, some turmeric. I'm going to be using some coconut oil tonight because I do like the way that it withstands heat very well. And some parsley later for on the top. So first things first, I am going to get my pot ready for my lentils because we're going to start our onions for our lentil masala first. So turn on your pot because that'll give us some time to fix up some stuff. And we are going to need, I just want some bite-sized pieces of our onion. And our okra, we're just going to make sure you wash it, and we're going to cut off our tops, and then about a half is where I want you to cut it so that you still get a good bite-sized piece for later on. Okay, so my pan is definitely ready now. So I'm going to just use like probably a tablespoon of coconut oil in the bottom of my pan. And once that heats up, solids get dissipated, we're going to just add our onions so that that can start working. We're going to want our onions to become light brown. So we're going to keep this over a medium to low heat, and it's going to probably take maybe like 8 to 10 minutes total to get them light brown. In that time, we're also going to fry up our okra, and then we're going to set that aside so that we can start doing other stuff with it later on. But our lentils are probably going to take about like 15 to 20 minutes after our onions are light brown. Then we'll add our tomatoes for it, our green onion, our long green pepper, and our water to it. So now that that's going, I'll just make sure it's all even in the bottom. And I'm going to heat my frying pan up so that I can get my okra going as well. Because at least our okra we can leave to the side once it's initially fried up, which is going to take us about 7 minutes. So I just want to make sure that gets nice and hot. And about another tablespoon of coconut oil in our frying pan. And once that gets nicely done, good thing about coconut oil is it can withstand a very high heat, it can stand frying, and if you do have excess that you've already portioned out, you could also use it for your hands, your lips, your hair. There's so many good purposes towards coconut oil, it's really good for you. So I'm going to add my okra in, and that's going to cook up for about like 7 minutes until it gets at least pretty well sauteed kind of on all ends. And I want to make sure that I do have my bowl handy dandy for when it is done. Just make sure that you keep your bowl dry. You don't want the oil to get wet with it. And we're going to keep this off to the side for our okra to go back in. And occasionally stir your onions because you don't want them to burn for your lentils. Want them to just be nicely colored. And I want my green pepper, just little slices. To the side. And my tomato, just small bite-sized pieces. Okra sometimes gets a tad bit like slimy and gross, so it could kind of like get your cutting board and your knife a little bit nasty. So keep it clean, and also your tomatoes very, very wet. And it's always good to clean as you go because you never want to be overwhelmed at the end. And I'm just stirring up my okra because I do want it to be nicely evenly cooked. And I am going to slice my green onion. So we're gonna do 2 green onions per our lentils, per our okra. And for our long hot peppers, we're doing 1 hot pepper for our lentil, 2 hot peppers for our okra. And once my okra is done cooking, well, you know, like frying for like 7 minutes, the initial step, I'm going to remove it from the heat, put it back in its bowl, and then I'm going to start the same exact procedure with our onions for that. Going to brown them up to a light brown, and that way we'll be able to build our masala for our okra. But our lentils should go first. So, and our lentils, we're just gonna build on top. Everything is gonna just kind of go in. Go that way. We are doing 1 cup of lentils towards 3 cups of cooking liquid. You can use vegetable stock. You can use water because we are going to be adding a lot of other flavors into it. So trust me, it will definitely have the flavor. For our quinoa, we're doing 1 cup of quinoa. I'm going to do 3 cloves of garlic, rough chopped. And that's about it for that, other than a little bit of maybe like some pink Himalayan salt. So this meal is going to serve 4. It's going to be a nice hearty meal. You have protein, you have vegetables, you have carbohydrates. Perfect, very colorful meal. So that's going to continue going for right now for probably another 3 more minutes. Then I'm removing this from the heat, and then I'm going to be doing the same exact thing with my onions for my okra. And by the time I am ready to come back, like my onions right now are already changing. They are definitely changing in color, but they're not quite at the shade I want them yet. I do want them all tan, and right now just, it's like a nice little bronze, like my first tan of the summer. That's what it looks like right now. So we're gonna take a short little break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna start on our masala for our okra, because our okra will already be done cooking, and then we're also going to be adding in our lentils in the meantime and getting that going as well. Our lentils will take about 15 to 20 minutes to get completely tender. So I'm going to see you very short, and we're going to continue this beautiful meal. Thanks. See you soon.